Chineke na nke pụrụ ihe niile. Onye ọ bụ naanị ya na-azọpụta. Onye ọ bụ naanị ya bụ okwu ya niile bụ ihe na amen. Anyị wee na-asị ezi ebube dị ngọzi na n'ụtụtụ na-eja mma na nsọpụrụ site n'ebighị ebi ma ruo n'ebighị ebi. Ise, ise, ise.
Welcome, my amazing viewers. Thank you so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you are joining from. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you so much and remain blessed. If you are joining me from Africa, Asia, Europe, America, Australia, or any part of the world, I thank you very much for your contribution. Please, each time you watch my video, go to the comment section and put down your comments. That is where we learn from each other. We learn a lot from the comment section. I don't speak alone. I am speaking with you. You can equally contribute. You can criticize if you so desire, but do it constructively so that we can learn from one another. That is why we're here. Thank you so much for joining. Remember, you have to say what is happening in your own area. Whatever happens, if you see something, say something. Don't be silent. We cannot allow the conventional media to continue to change the narrative. We cannot allow the conventional media to continue to play down the situation. We will continue to bring the situation the way it is and say it straight the way it is without hating anybody. We are not preaching hate speech. We are not talking down anybody. We say live and let live. And for those who say we will not live, just like the Fulani Janjaweed have said, they will not live either.
Last week, a bill seeking to include Bauchi, Kogi, Lagos, and other states as members of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, passed its second reading in the Nigerian Senate. According to Solomon Olamilekan, the senator representing Lagos West and arrowhead of the bill, the states should enjoy the same 13% derivation as other oil-producing states and should be added to the NDDC. The NDDC is an interventionist agency set up 21 years ago with the sole mandate of developing the oil-rich Niger Delta region. However, Matthew Urogide, the senator representing Edo South, pushed back, arguing that non-Niger Delta states, as members of the commission, will make a mockery of the NDDC. He noted that just because the states produce oil does not make them part of the Niger Delta region from a geographic perspective. Expectedly, Senator Irogide's position has received the backing of several Niger Delta forums. Now joining us from Yenagoa in Bayelsa State to discuss the NDDC, the amendment of its Establishment Act, and his organization's opposition to the inclusion of other oil-producing states such as Kogi, Lagos, and Anambra as members of the commission is Professor Benjamin Okaba, president of the Ijaw National Congress. Welcome to the show, Professor Okaba, and good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Professor Okaba.
Very good morning.
Yes, and thank you for joining us. Well, what's the basis of the objection of the Ijaw National Congress to the proposed inclusion of other oil-bearing communities under the auspices of the Niger Delta Development Commission? Is this about geography, or is it really about the fact that these are also oil-bearing states?
Okay, thank you very much for that very clear question. Niger Delta Development Commission has, in the first instance, a clear geographical definition and characterization. It is not all about oil bearing. And to understand all of this, we need to go back far into history, maybe from when the report of the Willings Commission that recognized the peculiarities of the region, the major challenges, and therefore recommended the establishment of a board that will allay the fears of the people and act as a special development agency for the rapid development of the people of the region. At this time, when this act was passed, or this recommendation was made, there was no oil. There was no oil. So oil was struck in 1958 and exported in commercial quantity within 1956, then 1958, especially as a commercial quantity. So several boards were now put in place up to a point where we had the OMPADEC, meaning the Oil Mineral Producing Area Development Commission, to cater for areas that are oil producing. Then we now had the NDDC in 2000 with a special mandate of developing the Niger Delta region. The NDDC Act provides for, in addition to the 13% derivation, another 10% from government to address the challenges of the people. At that point in time, when non-Niger Delta states, such as Imo, Ondo, were made part of the NDDC, there were protests. People protested and said, look, we have a natural environment called the Niger Delta. That the politicization of the Niger Delta is unacceptable. And we foresaw a situation that there will be further bastardization. And this inclusion, to a large extent, is to say that what was expected, what was envisaged long ago, is coming to pass. The point we are making is that, yes, if oil is now found in Anambra, in Lagos, in other places, of course, there is a law that says that for oil-producing areas, 13% is given to them. But that should not qualify them as Niger Deltas. If oil is found in a Kano, and we maybe say, let them enjoy the 13%, but the Niger Delta Commission should remain to address the peculiar challenges of the people. That is our point. Because if we allow this to go this far, we find ourselves maybe in a situation whereby today all the states in this country, we are praying that everywhere should be oil producing. Then if every part of this country is oil producing now, then that becomes Niger Delta Commission. It's a bastardization, unacceptable to us. In fact, it means that the very essence of recognizing the region as having its peculiar challenges and that need to be addressed so that we can catch up with other parts of the country in terms of infrastructure, in terms of amenities, in terms of capacity development, etc., will be defeated. So the point we're making, we kind of align ourselves with the position of our illustrious senator from Edo State, that will be making mockery of the essence. In fact, we'll be telling the world, the entire world, that we lack knowledge of geography. And I think in this country, that is not true. We have several professors, we have several learned people. So let us do those things that are right, in national interest and all that. So that is our position.
Thank you, Professor. Your position is clear, and I'm sure a lot of people, you'll find sympathy. And yet, this bill has passed second reading in the Senate. What do you have to say about that? The fact that senators could pass such a bill that clearly Niger Delta, we all know exactly where that is located in the south of Nigeria. You want to include states as far-flung as Lagos and Kogi and Bauchi, goodness knows where else, when oil continues to be discovered all over the country. Senators still passed that bill. Senators still passed the bill knowing the peculiarities of the challenges in the south-south region of Nigeria with regards to environmental degradation. So what hope is there at this point with the National Assembly? What do you have to say to that? Because senators passed it, I have to stress, when it goes to the House of Representatives, what is your plan, lobbying-wise? And really, can you just expand on what you've said earlier? There's a difference between equality and equity.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Let me take it from the first aspect of the question you just raised. Yes, the Nigerian Senate has passed it. And if I tell you in practical terms that we have anything to stop the Senate from even transmitting such, to Mr. President and have it hurriedly passed, I'll tell you we'll be deceiving ourselves. Because it all borders on the character of the Nigerian state. And the reason why we call for restructuring of this country across on the basis of equity and equality of ethnic nationalities. The Nigerian Senate, in the manner it is constituted, is not working in the interest of the nation. The policies are parochially are passed according to ethnic considerations. We had a PIB that later transmit into PIA. You saw that there were divisions, not even along party lines, but along ethnic lines. Because any matter from this end is dead on arrival. Why? It is a National Assembly that is skewed negatively against us. So like many other policies that are passed through the House of the Senate and the House of Reps, our senators are very few, and we go by majority. So it will be dead on arrival. When you say lobbying, what are you lobbying? They already know. What do you want to tell a primary six older? That Niger Delta means this and that. And in the clear eyes, people are saying that Lagos is now Niger Delta. Anambra is Niger Delta. What else do you tell such persons? If not for the expression of insensitivity to the plight of a region that feeds this country, if not for to pile up the iniquities of the government against the people of the region. So we are not hopeful, but all the same, as a people, as law-abiding people, we shall continue to express our displeasure. We shall continue to do everything within the laws to say that we have, particularly by this administration, been unfairly treated in several fronts. That is our position for now. Whatever we need to do ahead of now will be decided by our people.
Okay, let's even talk about the NDDC itself. Would you say it has done a lot as regards developing the Niger Delta region, owing to all of the back and forth that happened recently? And what's the position of, the Jaw people as a whole on what has happened with the NDDC? Because somebody will have thought that since its creation close to 20 years ago, by now we should not have the problems with the East-West Road. By now we should not have problems with other roads that are connecting the Niger Delta to other parts. By now we should not have, problems as regards fishing and fishermen that can't fish. By now, somebody will have thought that, I know it's not necessarily in the purview of the NDDC, but issues like Ogoni cleanup will have been resolved that led to, the agitations of a certain Kensariwa that lost his life in all of this. So why is it that 20 years after, the concerns of the Niger Delta have not been addressed?
Yeah, thank you very much. I agree with you totally. Because we also have said it severally that we are not impressed going by the quantum of resources, though not enough, that have been allocated to the region, to the NDDC as a commission to address some of the issues you have just raised. And we thought that when the issue of a forensic audit was initiated by the federal government as a way of doing a total evaluation of how far we have gone and what is wrong and how do we move forward. Some of people applauded the forensic audit, though we're against the fact that it shouldn't be a reason why the board should now be kept in the hands of a single man to be run as a family matter. But our complaints fell on deaf ears, and we said, okay, if forensic audit is the reason why you will not put a board together and move forward the mandate of the NDCC. Let's see how it goes. For this audit report has been submitted several months. The president's statement that immediately after the forensic audit, I'm going to inaugurate the NDDC board was never honored. The government did not honor it. The Minister for Niger Delta Affairs, Akpabio, will say he has done his bit. So what we are now saying is that NDDC is underperforming. Yes, there's no doubt about that. We are witnesses to several abandoned projects. We are witnesses to several projects that are said to have been executed, but you don't have even a pile of sand. We are witness to NDDC becoming a conduit pipe for people who are not from the region. In fact, as I speak to you, the major contractors to the NDDC are not even from the region. That is how it is. Appointment to NDDC is not even influenced by people from the region. That is how it is. But be that as it may, where is the forensic audit? Where is the report? Yes, there was a flip that 6 trillion naira was spent on several projects. Over 3,000 projects are abandoned. How was the money spent? Who are the people? Are they ghosts? The contractors? Are they ghosts? What efforts are we making to identify, to make sure that this does not repeat itself? It has taken a federal government over 4 months, to answer to these questions. And people are worried. Now, while these questions remain unanswered, the NDDC is still being manned by one person, denying the other Niger NDDC states from having representation into a board that should decide what goes where. Right now, the NDDC is just at the mercy of an individual and his family that we all know, who decide what to do. As we speak, monies are spent. As we speak, people are being employed. As we speak, so many things are going on. In fact, to the extent that you had a Senate committee and you all saw the off-the-mic drama, and the off-the-mic drama, people fainting, all because of NDDC. So people are saying, let us now know what is behind all such fainting, offing the drama, offing the microphone, and all that. We want to know, is there anything going on that is worse than what happened at the floor of Senate? So that is the concern. Going forward, we are saying that the NDDC, though, because as the job people, we stand on resource control. That is truth. Resource control is our position. We want to go back to the days of independence. We want to go back where 50% was given as derivation. We want to manage our resources. We want to own and manage our resources. This palliative, NDDC is defective. We rejected, in fact, when the Williams Conditions was presented, as far back as 1958, our people rejected it, saying that what we need is a political space. We need a political space within which our economic resources can be managed for our well-being. We're denied that, and we're given a board that never functioned after 10 years after. And when it was functioned, the board that was made for the Niger Delta was categorized under the least funding. All of this, NDDC, OMPADEC, etc., is not sufficient condition. It's not sufficient condition that will lead to the realization of our dreams for a prosperous, a peaceful Niger Delta. So even this one that is given as some kind of palliative intervention agency is being mismanaged. Now we have rumors that the NDDC will be merged with Niger Delta Ministry. The next rumor is that it's going to be scrapped. What our position is that resource control is our ultimate objective. But going forward, if you are having a board that is working towards ameliorating and bringing succor to the people, it should be properly managed. Resources be properly managed. Monies accruing to the board should be provided as well as that when due. And that we don't accept now bringing it states that are not don't have any contiguous relationship with the Niger Delta as Niger Delta to further bastardize the very essence and concept of a people who need ab initio, right from pre-colonial times, who have been recognized by colonial masters as having a challenging environment that requires special development attention.
Well, Professor Kaba, let's get something straight. This conversation sounds like what you want for yourself, you don't want for others. Because you made a point about resource control.
No.
Well, just a moment. The states that are asking to be included or that will be included as oil-bearing communities also, what they're asking for is is simply resource control. They also want to control their resources. But you are saying because they don't belong to the Niger Delta, then they don't deserve to be part of the NDDC. So I guess the issue is about geography and nomenclature. If you agree with the principle of equity, federalism, resource control, how about if we recommend to the National Assembly to simply just go ahead and jettison the title Niger Delta Development Commission and probably just say oil-bearing communities commission, producing areas commission, OMPADEC. Maybe we should revert to the old name about OMPADEC, where geography is not signposted. Wouldn't that serve the purpose in terms of the original objectives?
Okay, yes, I think we are almost saying the same thing. But the difference is that, one, as oil-producing communities, we are not against they are benefiting from the constitutional provision, which is 13%. But the point I'm making, that 20% is not synonymous with the nomenclature Niger Delta, which you also recognize.
Yeah, so we change the name.
I'm saying that just like you have a northeast, No, just get the point I'm making. Now, the Niger Delta region, has a peculiar need and has recognized for special attention before oil was produced. Niger Delta, the fact of a development, a dream of a special development, this thing predates oil. That is the point I'm making. It predates oil. So, plus or minus oil, we need special attention. That is the point I'm making. So, just like you have the Northeast Development Agency, it's not about oil. Let the NDDC remain as a Niger Delta Development Commission. If possible, put your OMPADEC. We will also qualify to be members of OMPADEC because we are oil producing. But our dues as a people would deserve to be treated specially because of as recognized earlier on. Is what we are saying. We are not denying anybody. We are not saying that Lagos or even Kano, even Gombe, any state at all that is oil producing should just go ahead and benefit from the 13%. It's provided for by law. But don't make them seem to be Niger Delta. Niger Delta is a peculiar geographical identity with problems that are peculiar to the people. We have said it. Like I said earlier, have your own OMPADEC if you so wish. As any state that is oil producing should be part of OMPADEC. But the Niger Delta Region Commission or development is a development commission that should be exclusively made for Niger Deltas. That is their position. And I think it is very clear.
Well, I mean, Prof, well, will you say Anambra is not part of the Niger Delta, for example?
It is not.
You sure about that?
It's not.
Okay.
Yes. Well, the Niger Delta states are known now.
Okay, but I think it's
Bauchi
good
is not.
But I
Lagos
guess,
is not.
Yeah, even Lagos is asking for a special status. The same kind of special status that you are asking for the Niger Delta.
Anybody can ask, sir. What we're saying that anybody is free to ask. For instance, we have a special Northeast Development Commission. We have not said you should stop it. We have not said we are against it, right? Recognize us and treat us as distinct. It's not about oil. I've said it, that it was the concept of the idea of having a special development project or program for the Niger Delta was recognized in pre-colonial times. And those problems that were identified remain. In fact, they are even worsened by the several years of neglect and marginalization we've suffered in the Nigerian state. They are there. So give them whoever that wants, if they want to give, but don't make them Niger Delta. They are not. Niger Delta is a creation of nature. It's not a creation of man. It's a creation of nature. You don't change the creation of nature and try to smuggle in names and bastardize the whole essence. It is evil against the people.
Well, thank you very much.
Maybe.
Yeah, please go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes. Can I talk on?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I talk on the? Yes, we're also angered by the recent approval of over 600 kilometers of road, ranging about 601 billion naira. And out of these roads, rehabilitation, road rehabilitation, refurbishing and all that, under the NNPC, a paltry less than 5% is allocated to the entire South, the Niger Delta. And only 81 kilometers of road of all this, and the entire resources of the NNPC comes from the Niger Delta. That is wickedness. We are talking about equity. How can you take money from this? No, take money from our bowels, and you are executing road projects. Road projects. None of those road projects is cited in Bayelsa, none in Delta, none in Edo, none in Rivers. In fact, in the only place in Akwa Ibom, you have just 81 kilometers. It is injustice taken too far.
Well, Professor.
It's injustice taken too far.
Well, Professor Kaba.
Yes.
You know, we've been on this argument
Yes.
about geography for a very long time. And maybe the matter will be resolved one day by professional geographers who define Delta as not an isolated unit, but as, a geographical space that also has tributaries. So when you talk about the Delta, it probably has tributaries. And that was why I asked you earlier on about Anambra. You know, is Ondo State not part of the Niger Delta? Is Imo not part of the Delta? But that's another argument for the professionals. We'd like to thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for saying. Thank you for.
Okay, you want to argue about geography? I was going to wrap up the conversation.
No, I said thank you. You said tributaries.
Yes.
Right? Tributaries are the main Niger Delta. Measured, I thank God that you mentioned it distinctly. The Niger Delta map was drawn since pre-colonial times. Yes, so when you want to politicize a map, right, for purposes of injustice upon the people, the originalities are there. So it's not about somebody coming to do any interpretation. When you say map of Nigeria remains map of Nigeria, unless there's an official boundary adjustment. Official boundary adjustment. If for the boundaries, they alone.
Okay.
Thank you.
Real quickly, Prof, I want to ask you this. Is it that you're scared that if these states are lumped to the Niger Delta, they will come and share the resource you hitherto complain is not enough? Is that the fear here? And I get your point about, having a Niger Delta Commission, because even if you dial back to the 63 Constitution, there's a provision for a Niger Delta. I think the word used there wasn't a commission. So there was a provision for an association that dealt with development of Niger Delta way back in the 63 Constitution in this country.
Yes.
It was there in the Constitution, clearly written. So your point about the development of the region being germane, we can't push that aside. But is it your fear that if you put all of this region, they will come and eat part of this development you have, sort of the largesse you are getting, which is not even trickling down to your people in the first place, hence all the complaints in the NDDC. Is that your fear?
Yes. No, well, it is.
Okay, that's your fear, right?
You know, because it's going to be, no. It's going to be a plus-minus thing. If you bring Lagos, for instance, Lagos will also come with theirs. Is that not so? They are going to come with their resources. There's no doubt about it. But we are saying that, look, let us call a spade, right? These people, there's an Umpadek, right? There's an, something like Umpadek, oil-producing areas. Let us be part of it. We don't have any problem with that. But just like you have reminded me, in the Constitution, 1963 Constitution, we had a Niger Delta board. It's about the Niger Delta. What is constitutionally provided for us as Niger Deltas as a result of the recognitions of our age-long sufferings, of the kind of peculiar, difficult conditions we find ourselves, should remain.
Well, Prof.
Should remain. That's what I'm saying. We're not afraid of anything, but let us do things properly.
Okay, Prof, what then are you recommending to the National Assembly? The bill has already passed second reading. You think the bill should be jettisoned? And what efforts are you making as a major stakeholder organization to get your views across to the lawmakers?
Okay, first and foremost, we're recommending that the Niger Delta, the manner is constituted, should remain. They can, if they want to create another, to recommend to let these other states that are oil producing and new oil come into the community of oil producing states, they should be given their 13% as provided for by law, and not by necessarily becoming Niger Delta. You don't need to be a Niger Delta state to produce oil and benefit from oil production. Let the Niger Delta, let them provide a body that can accommodate them, even accommodate more. Like I said earlier, our prayer is that every part of this country should be oil producing, so that let us also have the feeling of the brutality we have faced as a people. Every day as we speak, there's pipeline explosion in Nembe and other parts of southern Niger. For 7 days, nothing has happened, and the ecosystem is damaged. As we speak, no remediation, no compensation, no cleanup. 7 days, and it's ongoing. It's ongoing. We want every part of Nigeria to experience this brutality. Then, on the issue of what we are doing, in fact, the conference of ethnic nationalities of the Niger Delta met on Saturday in Yanagwa and took certain positions. Taking those positions will be unveiled much later, because we are not going to sit in our OAS. We're going to push this as much as possible within constitutional boundaries. We're going to talk to our people. We're going to externalize, make several calls. We're going to do everything possible to make sure that they don't bastardize this conflict. They don't just whittle down the little benefit we're having from the NDDC. We also say that.
Thank you so much for your patience to watch from the beginning to the end. I hope you have learned something from the video you have just watched. The video you have just watched is to bring information to your doorstep and for educational purpose. It is not to demonize anybody. Let us watch continuously and see who can be able to make a sense out of every nonsense we are seeing. We must continue. We move. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what they say. They will kill us. We will kill them. At the end of the day, Biafra is here. Thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please kindly subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell so that you're notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you, and remember blessed. Bye-bye. See you again.